In this video, I'll show you how to safely dual boot Ubuntu 26.04 LTS and Windows 11 on the same computer. As you can see, whenever I turn on the computer, this boot menu appears. From here, I can choose which operating system I want to use. First, let me start Ubuntu. Ubuntu is installed on a separate partition so it can run alongside Windows without replacing it. As you can see, the Ubuntu desktop is working normally. I can connect to Wi-Fi, browse the internet, and use the installed applications without any problem. Bluetooth, sound, video playback, graphics, display resolution, and other important hardware are also working correctly. Now, let me restart the computer and select Windows Boot Manager. As you can see, Windows 11 also starts normally. My installed applications, settings, and personal files are still available. This means I can use Ubuntu whenever I need it and return to Windows at any time. Although this method is designed to keep Windows and your personal files safe, we'll be changing the drive partitions. Therefore, make sure you back up your important files before continuing. Once your backup is ready, let us begin. First of all, we'll disable Windows Fast Startup. Open the Start menu, search for Control Panel and open it. Go to Hardware and Sound and then open Power Options. From the left side, select Choose what the power buttons do. Click Change settings that are currently unavailable. Now uncheck Turn on Fast Startup and click Save Changes. Disabling Fast Startup ensures a complete shutdown and prevents Ubuntu access issues. We now need to create free space where Ubuntu will be installed. Right-click the Windows Start button and open Disk Management. Disk Management will show all the physical drives and partitions connected to your computer. In my case, Windows is installed on disk 0. Here you may see an EFI system partition, the main Windows C drive, and one or more recovery partitions. We only need to reduce the size of the Windows C drive. Before continuing, make sure the C drive has enough available storage space. Right-click the C drive and click Shrink Volume. Windows will now calculate how much space can be removed from the partition. The amount must be entered in megabytes. For example, if you want to allocate 50 GB for Ubuntu, enter 51200. For 80 GB, enter 81920, and for 100 GB, enter 102400. In my case, I'm allocating 100 GB for Ubuntu. Click Shrink. After a few seconds, a new section marked as Unallocated should appear. Do not create a new simple volume. Leave it completely unallocated because the Ubuntu installer will automatically create the required Linux partition inside this space. Now open your browser and visit the official Ubuntu website. Download Ubuntu 26.04 LTS desktop. Most computers running Windows 11 with an Intel or AMD processor require the 64-bit AMD 64 version. Click the download button and wait for the ISO file to finish downloading. While the Ubuntu ISO is downloading, open a new browser tab and download the latest version of Rufus. Rufus is a free and open source tool. We'll use it to write the Ubuntu ISO file to a USB pen drive. Once both files have been downloaded, connect your USB drive to the computer. You should use an empty USB drive with at least 8 GB of storage. Everything stored on the USB drive will be deleted during this process, so copy any important files from it before continuing. Now, open Rufus. Under Device, select your USB drive. Now click Select beside Boot selection. Locate the downloaded Ubuntu ISO file and open it. Rufus will automatically choose the recommended settings. You can leave the settings at their default values. Then, click Start. If Rufus asks you to choose between the ISO image mode and DD image mode, select the recommended ISO image mode. It will now warn you that all the data on the USB drive will be destroyed. Click OK. Rufus will now write the Ubuntu installation files to the USB drive. This may take several minutes depending on the speed of your USB drive. Once the progress is complete and the status changes to ready, close Rufus. The Ubuntu bootable USB drive is now ready. Next, we need to start the computer from the Ubuntu USB drive. Open Windows Settings, go to System, then open Recovery. Beside Advanced Startup, click Restart Now. Confirm the restart. The computer will now open Windows Recovery menu. Select Use a device. Now choose EFI USB device. The computer should restart and boot directly from the Ubuntu USB. After booting from the USB drive, you should see the Ubuntu startup screen. Select Try or Install Ubuntu and press Enter. Wait for the Ubuntu installer to load. Choose your preferred language and click Next. On the accessibility screen, enable any features that you require. Otherwise, leave the settings unchanged and click Next. Now select the correct keyboard layout. You can type inside the text box to confirm that the keyboard is working correctly. Click Next. The installer will now ask you to connect to the internet. Select your Wi-Fi network and enter the password. You can also use a wired Ethernet connection. An internet connection is optional, but connecting now allows Ubuntu to download updates, additional drivers, and supported software during installation. Click Next. You'll now see the option to try Ubuntu or install Ubuntu. The Try Ubuntu option allows you to temporarily test Ubuntu without installing it. For this tutorial, select Install Ubuntu and continue. Now select Interactive Installation. This is the standard option recommended for most users. The automated installation option is mainly intended for advanced users and organizations. Click Next. Ubuntu will now ask which applications you want to install. The default selection installs the essential applications required by most users. The extended selection includes some additional Office applications and utilities. I am going to choose the default selection because any additional applications can be installed later through the Ubuntu App Center. On the next screen, enable this option to try third-party software for graphics and Wi-Fi hardware. Also, enable this option for additional media formats. These options can improve device support and install useful drivers and codecs. Click Next. You'll now reach the disk setup screen. Here, select the option that says Install Ubuntu alongside Windows Boot Manager. When you select this option, the Ubuntu installer will automatically detect Windows and the unallocated space that we created earlier. Do not select Erase Disk and Install Ubuntu. This option will delete Windows, your applications, personal files, and the other partitions on the selected drive. Manual installation is also not recommended for beginners. So for this tutorial, I'll select the Alongside option and click Next. Ubuntu will now ask to create a user account. Enter your name and choose a name for the computer. Create a username and enter a strong password. For better security, I recommend keeping the option to require the password when logging in. Click Next. Now select your location and time zone. If your computer is connected to the internet, Ubuntu may automatically detect the correct location. The installer will now display a summary of the installation. If everything is correct, click Install. Ubuntu will now create the required Linux partition inside the unallocated space, copy operating system files, install the selected applications, and configure the grub boot manager. The installation may take several minutes. Do not turn off your computer and do not remove the USB drive while the installation is running. Once the installation is complete, click Restart Now. When Ubuntu asks you to remove the installation medium, disconnect the USB drive and press Enter. The computer will restart. You should now see the grub boot menu. This menu allows you to choose which operating system you want to start. Select Ubuntu to start Ubuntu. Select Windows Boot Manager whenever you want to start Windows 11. For now, select Ubuntu and press Enter. Ubuntu will start and display the login screen. Enter the password that you created during installation. After signing in, the initial setup application may appear. Just keep clicking Next. After installing Ubuntu, we should first update the operating system. Open the application menu and open the Software Updater application, and allow Ubuntu to check for available updates. If updates are available, click Install Now. Enter your Ubuntu password when required. Ubuntu will download and install the latest system and security updates. If Software Updater asks you to restart the computer, Complete the restart before continuing. Now that Ubuntu is installed and updated, let us check whether the important hardware is working. First, connect to your Wi-Fi network. Open the web browser and load the website. This confirms that the Wi-Fi adapter and internet connection are working. You can also play a YouTube video. This allows you to check the speakers, video playback, and basic graphic performance at the same time. Next, open Quick Settings panel and turn on Bluetooth. You can connect a Bluetooth device to confirm that pairing and audio are working correctly. Now open Settings and go to Displays. Check whether Ubuntu has detected the correct screen resolution. Next, open the About section. Here, you can check your detected processor, memory, graphics hardware, storage, and Ubuntu version. In my case, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, sound, graphics, display resolution, and all other hardware are working correctly. You can now restart the computer at any time and use the grub menu to switch between Ubuntu and Windows 11. Now let me show you how to completely remove Ubuntu and return the computer to Windows only. To do so, we should first remove the Ubuntu boot files and firmware entry. Once you are inside Windows, open the Start menu and search for Command Prompt. Right-click the command prompt and select Run as Administrator. First, we'll check the boot entry stored in the UEFI firmware. For that, type this command and press Enter. The command will display the firmware boot entries. Look for the section where Ubuntu appears beside description. In the same section, you'll see an identifier inside curly brackets. Carefully copy the identifier belonging to Ubuntu. Now type bcdedit/delete space and then paste the Ubuntu identifier. Press Enter. Windows should display a message confirming that the operation completed successfully. That means the Ubuntu firmware entry has now been removed. Next, we need to delete the remaining Ubuntu boot files from the EFI system partition. To do so, first mount the EFI system partition using the drive letter Z. Now go to the EFI directory. You should see folders such as boot, Microsoft, and Ubuntu. Do not delete the boot or Microsoft folders. We only need to delete the folder named Ubuntu. To delete it, enter this command. This permanently deletes the remaining Ubuntu boot files. Now unmount the EFI system partition. The Ubuntu boot entry and EFI files have been now removed. We can now delete the Ubuntu partition and recover the storage space. To do so, right-click the Windows Start button and open Disk Management. Here, right-click the Ubuntu partition and select Delete Volume. After deleting the Ubuntu partition, the space should appear as unallocated. Now, right-click the C drive and select Extend Volume. Click Next. Select the available unallocated space and click Finish. The storage previously used by Ubuntu will now be added back to the Windows C drive. Now let's restart the computer. The system should now start directly into Windows 11. You can also enter the BIOS or UEFI settings and check the boot priority list. The Ubuntu entry should no longer appear. Windows Boot Manager should remain as the main boot option. This is how you can safely dual boot Ubuntu and Windows 11 on the same computer.